those bitches on.
It's a true statement. But what I do though, man, is I came with this thing called perform without purpose. And so many people, they need to have a 5K, a 10K. I need to have a course in front of me. I need to have something in front of me for me to get my fucking ass up and do some shit. And that used to be me. And nowadays, you know, shit, for past 20-some years, I don't need fucking purpose. And people miss out on this, man. The purpose, we're all looking for this golden purpose. Is it this? Is it that? Is it making money? Is it my family? Motherfucker, the purpose is you. Mama.
How long has it been since I heard I love you? How long has it been since I held her breath in my lungs? How long has it been since we counted the moments together before it was all over? You tell me to hold you close, and you tell me to never let you go. Those 2 moments were left forever ago. As I was feeling stuck today and wondering how I could go about continuing to progress in either making videos, progressing through my reading list, progressing through scripts, progressing through business, progressing through life, I came to a reflective period where I thought I could share a little bit about what I've been doing on the personal note, on a personal matter. Pain, to me, at least now, not only is unavoidable, but it's also necessary for growth, friction, scarring, key elements that callous the mind to make it harder, to make it stronger, to make it able to support whatever obstacles come your way that you can break through. And it requires going into the dungeon, looking at the darkness, and seeing what your mind is afraid of. For most people, what we're afraid of is failure. Failure is such an underappreciated, yet the most prevalent element of success. So, August 8th, your most recent heart-wrenching failure. The first thing I thought about was you. Maybe not in the way you think. I know you were interested in me, and I know you liked me. I know the guy you were with was a settled situation. I know that if I had put in just a tad bit more effort and been a little bit more cool, that I could have been your man. And that's not where the failure lies. The failure came when I started to value myself based off of what you felt. I could blame you and countless other people that made me feel worthless. But what is the point? If it is to stay weak and insecure and continue to make the same mistakes, I'll blame you. If I want to be successful, an overachiever, and accomplish the impossible, I will blame myself. Take full accountability. Seek your own approval. The mind is an extremely powerful thing and will naturally sync to whatever suits its main programming. Like thoughts of relationships that begin to overwhelm me, it is a sign that you are losing focus and falling back on your old programming. The programming where you would fantasize about what you would have to say seem more interesting. The programming where you're planning every second of every date. That is when you shift your mind and get your ass back in gear. Let nothing change with your manners and your respect and your courtesy. But cut out all the bullshit. The life you want is already yours. Go out and get that motherfucker. I don't know where that last part came from, but that's where we're gonna go. What does it mean to change? What does it mean to see how far you can go? I feel like we're all kind of born with this innate ability to survive and express ourselves in the most genuine and beneficial way possible. what covers that ability is basically everything else, everything that makes us seem like we are unable to become better, that makes us seem like we're unable to connect to people. It makes us seem that we're also unable to be happy. Everyone says this, but like in our modern culture, we're so stressed. In our modern culture, we're so lazy. But it's true. The only thing we do know about our modern society is that we are highly stressed. Very, very stressed. And it kind of seems like it's engineered to make us stressed. It seems like we kind of want to be in a place where we're looked down upon, where people are always looking at us and judging us, and it's almost impossible to find any sort of relief when you're living that way. You either have to choose to be genuine and express yourself genuine, or you choose to be connected to people. It seems like it's a choice that you have to make nowadays, to be your authentic self or to be recognized as part of a community. In a psychologically healthy life, you're able to do both. You're able to be who you are and also feel a sense of connection with people, and people that genuinely love you, and people that want to see you actually grow in life. That fosters like a huge sense of community. That fosters that sense of togetherness, and you're always looking out for each other. And it builds you in a way that has always been there since we were able to become like a civilization. We had always had a tight-knit community. We had always fostered that sense of well-being first, and then we were able to build upon and create a society of working people, because we were actually healthy enough to expand beyond, our bed, to expand beyond our home, to expand beyond our town, and then expand beyond the city unto the world. And then it seems like we got stuck there. Like the moment we started to see that there's other cultures and am I going bald? The moment we started to see that there's other cultures in our life, we kind of gave up on the whole well-being kind of aspect of living. It seems like we're kind of just after productivity now, efficiency now, conveniency, the fastest way possible. That makes you lose connection essentially to what we've always had, which was not the path of least resistance. It was actually the path of most resistance. We kind of needed to figure out who we were from scratch. We didn't really have, books or people there to kind of give us an instruction manual of what works best for us. It was up to us to foster our own sense of well-being, and we were able to kind of connect that to our civilization. That is kind of where I wanted to experience when I was, younger. I knew something was kind of off, because I didn't think that life needed to be so stressful all the time. I didn't think that you needed to compromise who you were in order to feel like you could be seen. I had thought that you could be seen as a regular person because of how authentic you were. And early on, you start to realize that people don't care how authentic you are. They only care if you fit in that little box. And that little box is super tiny box where you're kind of dissected by people. Like if you don't fit the mold, or if you don't fit their expectations of you, you're seen as an outcast, or you're seen as someone that is cringe. Nowadays that's what they would use, like an outlier. You're definitely not a part of the majority. You're you're ostracized, essentially. You're ostracized from the popular crowd, and that in itself leads to its own kind of pathology. People start to get chips on their shoulders, and then they inevitably start to develop unhealthy habits to try and cope with the fact that they never felt like they were seen. They never felt like they were part of that community. They never felt like they were part of that group. So they start to really feel like they're in the dump. They feel like they're down in the dumps all the time. And if you continue to do that and you continue to live that way, it's no wonder that you're going to start to develop like this sort of nihilistic and comfort-seeking point of view, which I think is what most of us have had to deal with, or at least that's what I think is the reason why we're at the place we're at now. We have a society that in totality has been ignored. We're not really seen for who we are. We're seen for what we can provide. We're seen not as an individual, but we're seen as what can we provide for the majority. And that in itself is like a catapult to a stuck, stagnant, and slave mind. And I think that that's why this whole idea of escaping the matrix or seeing through the timelines or escaping the timelines, I feel like that's why that niche has been so prevalent now. You know, people have tried to escape essentially this burning fire of a world because they've been taught that the world's no good. They've been taught that this world is scary, this world is corrupt, and the fact that maybe you innately feel a connection to this world, guess what? You're also corrupt and you're also bad. So that everything's bad. Your connection to the world is bad, the world is bad, you yourself are bad, and everyone in it is just waiting for, you know, the next cycle because this one's chopped, this one's cooked.
Nothing exists. Your life fucking sucks.
I'm sorry, I just love this background. So what do we do about this? So what hope can we possibly have if we're trying to reinvent ourselves when it seems like the trajectory of this timeline seems to be going down, you know, the crapper? Well, essentially, we have to break our programming. I don't think we chose to live this way. I don't think someone chooses to suffer intentionally. Pain is unavoidable in life, and we learned that very early on, but suffering is sort of like a condition. In Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins explains that he has a love-hate relationship with pain, essentially. Pain not only serves him to show that he's growing, it also shows that every single step past that pain is an indicator that he is growing stronger. It's an indicator that he is changing into the person that he actually wants to become. Everything that is surrounding us nowadays is leading us towards a life of comfort, whether that be your job, what you decide to study, your friends and your community. Everything is trying to lead you to be kind of stagnant, and is trying to lead you to a point where you can properly fit into a box because it's easier to control, and it's also easier to measure how much of your output is being given to everyone as a whole. If you don't fit in that box, you're essentially out of the loop. And I really do think that a lot of us don't fit into a box. I think none of us do. I think because of the structure of society itself, it atomizes our human experience when it comes to the individual. So when you are that out of the loop, the only thing you can hope to do is either learn to deal with that suffering and live a life of suffering, or you overcome yourself and you look towards change. You look towards what it would really take to become someone new. And of course, it'll seem like the world is burning down. It'll seem like you are doing something wrong. It'll seem like you're going against the grain because you are. It'll seem like you're possibly on your own, which is very lonely. And that's kind of why I started off the video with that part about, you know, my sad boy poem. The main thing that I believe gets people when they try to overcome their programming is the fact that they have to deal with loneliness. Loneliness is a sort of pain that I feel all of us run from because we have so many things that we can go to that are easy fixes. You know, the internet, pornography, fast relationships, people online giving you attention. You can get recognition for the work you do, which could lead you to become like a workaholic because you're essentially always trying to find the path of least resistance. And in that path of least resistance, you're looking for how can I get the most recognition. All of this combined leads to you becoming essentially a nobody person. Because you're essentially sacrificing the light inside of you in order to appease what is an external factor, which is the world, where it should really be starting internally. You know, you recognize your programming, you either change it or you're okay with it, and then from there you start to build a life outward. That's how I feel like it happened with us as a civilization, as a human race. We started in together. We started super, super close and tight knit, and then we kind of expanded outwards. Once we were able to kind of expand as far as the world and I guess cultivate a sense of superiority, and that's when we kind of started to neglect ourselves and neglect where we came from. It's almost like we struggled for so long, and now that we have it so good, we can kind of forget about it, when in reality, it's a never-ending struggle. The person that is genuinely never satisfied and always trying to reinvent themselves, I believe, is the happiest person, because they don't let a single external factor validate their entire existence. They don't let the fact that they graduated mean that they're finished. They don't let the fact that they got their dream job mean that they're done developing their character. It doesn't mean that the fact that they made their money, that they have their family, and that they're enjoying the fruits of their labor, that doesn't mean that the finish line has been crossed. A person that is continually trying to change, reinvent, and better themselves every single day without a break, I believe that opens the door to an enlightenment in our modern day, especially because every day you can essentially choose to do the same thing. You can choose to do the same thing every single day, and no one's going to stop you. No one's going to care enough to want for you to do better, so you have to care enough for you to want to do better. In the end, when no one's there to praise you, when no one is there to celebrate your victory, yet you're still content and you're still happy with everything you've done, I think that is valuable, and that's worth more than any treasure in the world. And if you're able to foster that mindset, you'll be able to overcome any obstacle in your way. But it does require you to do it every single day. You face pain every day. You face obstacles every day. You face the world every day. You face yourself every day. Life is essentially the biggest mind game possible. And if you never hide from that battle every day, the moment it comes from outside of you, you'll be ready, because you do it all the time. You do it on a daily basis. And that's the key to growth. That's the key to success. And you need to be successful if you really want to show out. Who doesn't want to be successful? Who doesn't want to be an overachiever? Who doesn't want to be the person that achieves their dreams? So yeah, I think that that to a degree kind of goes over like what I'm on a path to do. I honestly never thought that I would be where I am right now. I never thought that I could, be so content with what I do every day. And honestly, I don't feel like doing what I do every day, but it's not really the point. It's the fact that I do those things and I still come out the other end. A quick example. What I started to utilize now that I got accustomed to my environment, I always go straight into physical exercise to try and give myself like a sort of schedule and regulation. One thing I've employed is the nickel and dimes type of thing for calisthenics. So essentially every night I have to go and pay for my sleep, for my rest. I do a nickel worth of pull-ups, this way, and then a dime worth of chin-ups this way, and then a quarter of push-ups, so 25. One set of those 3 workouts adds up to 40 movements, and I pay $1.20 to go to sleep. Today I did $1.60 just because I felt good. And I think that's the point. As you continue to do it and as you continue to grow, even if you don't want to do it and you know that you're going to, that builds that sense of confidence in yourself that no matter what's going to come your way, like you'll find the way. That I think is bigger than any prize or any award anyone can give you. That self-confidence and that self-belief in yourself. That I think is also the antidote to suffering. Face your pain, face your suffering, and change yourself to change the world. And that's it. Aside from that, I really don't think I have any more updates. I'm still working on the Anthem 2 script, and that's going to be out as soon as I finish it. I'm going to work on it tonight. I'm going to see how this comes out because as you can tell, I'm messing with the camera, I'm messing with the background. And as I've done it before, like, I'm just figuring it out as I go along, because that's the fun part. And it's also the challenging part. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
We forget that. Every fucking day I wake up and I don't want to do some fucking shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a bitch today? Do you want to feel like a little bitch? Do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't? So it's perform without purpose. You have to learn how to get up and do shit when you ain't got no fucking 5K, no 10K, nothing. Nothing exists. Your life fucking sucks. You're in the fucking dungeon. But guess what, motherfucker? I'm still going to get it.